For today, we'll discuss more examples on applying laws of exponent with rational exponent as we check your answers on the exercise yesterday. So to start, yesterday we have this letter A. We have 10 items to answer or to simplify using laws of exponent. So first we have x raised to 1 over 5 times x raised to 3 over 5. In this case, ano yung nakita niyong pwede natin gamitin? So we have x, pareha sila ng base. So from here, they are being multiplied. So product rule ang gagamitin natin. And according to product rule, if you multiply two given expression having the same bases, we just need to add their exponent. So ang magiging solution natin dyan will be x raised to 1 over 5 plus 3 over 5. So as you can see as well, may kinopya lang natin yung base at the same time. Kung makita nyo, pares naman yung denominator ng ating dalawang fraction. So we can easily add them by adding the numerator 1 plus 3 over 5. So the answer here will be 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. So the answer is 4 over 5 or x raised to 4 over 5. So let's see if our answer is correct. Okay, tama. Let's go to number 2. So number 2, we have the given b raised to 3 over 4 all over b raised to 1/4 or 1 over 4. So in this case, kung makita natin, we still have the same bases. But sa pagkakataon na to, meron na tayong division kasi naka-over na siya. So we'll be using the quotient rule. So ano yung ginagawa natin kapag quotient rule? We just need to copy the base and then we subtract the exponent 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4. The same time, kung makita nyo, parehas ulit yung denominator nila. So madali lang sila i-subtract. We can just subtract b raised to 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4. 3 minus 1 lang. 3 minus 1, that will be equal to 2. And then copy the denominator 4. But as you can see, the fraction 2 over 4 can still be simplified by getting the lowest term. So, i-divide natin siya by its GCF. So, ang GCF ng 2 tsaka ng 4 ay 2. So, we divide both of them by 2. Therefore, we get an answer or the exponent will be 1/2 because 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, the answer will be b raised to 1/2. Okay, let's check if our answer is correct. Okay, tama. So, let's proceed to number 3. So, on number 3, as you can see, 5 is raised to 2/3 at the same time raised to 3/4. So, dalawang beses siya na-raise with these two rational exponents. So, in this case, we will be using the power rule. So, naka-raise kasi siya ng dalawang beses. So, ang gagawin natin, i-multiply lang natin yung exponent nila. So, how do we do that? We just need to copy the base 5 and then copy natin si 2/3 and multiply natin siya kay 3 over 4. In multiplying fraction, we just need to multiply the numerator times the numerator. So, taas times taas, and then baba times baba, denominator times denominator. So, in this case, our answer will be 5 raised to 2 times 3 is 6. So, we have 6 over 3 times 4 is 12. But in this case, once again, si 6 over 12, pwede pa nating i-simplify. So, paano natin siya i-simplify? We divide both of them by its GCF. So, ang GCF ng 6 tsaka ng 12 is 6. So, they can both be divided by 6. So, divide natin sila parehas kay 6. Therefore, our exponent will become 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So, our answer is 5 raised to 1 over 2 or 1/2. So, that will be our final answer. Okay, tama. Next. So, we have here x raised to 1/2 times y raised to 2/3. Quantity raised to 1/2. In this case, meron tayong dalawang given expression, x and y, and they are being raised to 1/2, 2/3, and quantity 1/2. So, gagamit tayo ng power of a product rule. So, paano natin ginagawa yan? We just need to distribute this 1/2 both on that 1/2 for the exponent of x and 2/3 on the exponent of y. So, sa solution natin, supposed to be x raised to 1/2 times 1/2. So, ito yung 1/2 na nandito sa labas. Next, y raised to 2/3 times, yan, distribute din natin, multiply natin sa kanya si 1/2. Ito yung nandun sa labas. So, once again, we'll be doing multiplication of fraction. So, taas times taas, baba times baba. Yan, multiply natin tong 1 dito, 2 dito, yung 2 dito, and then yung 3 sa 2. So, having that said, we'll be having the exponent of x that will be 1 times 1 is 1, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Then y raised to 2 times 1 is 2, and then 3 times 2 is 6. Yeah, so we have 2 over 6 for the exponent of y. But in this case, 1/4 for the exponent of x is already in the lowest term, but 2 over 6 is not yet in the simplest form. So we can still divide it by its GCF, both 2 and 6. We can divide both of them by 2 just to get the lowest term. Therefore, our final answer is supposedly x raised to 1/4, then y raised to 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, yan. Our final answer once again is x raised to 1/4 times y raised to 1/3. Tignan natin. Okay, tama. Next number tayo. Number 5. So, here we have x raised to 1/3 quantity raised to 3. Kung titignan nyo, si x ay nakaraise na naman sa dalawang beses. Therefore, we will be using the power of a power rule. So, gamit yan, ang gagawin natin is we just need to multiply the exponent 1/3 to the exponent 3. So, multiply natin. Once again, para hindi kayo malito, kung sanay kayo ng numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, you put 1 on the denominator. Ayan. So, just need to multiply this 1 times 3 and 3 times 1. We'll be having an answer x raised to 3 over 3. In this case, 3 over 3 will just be equal to 1, diba? So, 3 divided by 3, equal lang yan kay 1. So, our answer will be x raised to 1. So, pwede na nating hindi isulat yung raised to 1 na yan, and our final answer will just be x. Yan, tama. Next, let's go to number 6. We have 3 raised to 3 over 4 times 3 raised to 1/4. In this case, kung titignan nyo, parehas sila ng base and they are being multiplied. So, ang gagamitin natin na rule ay product rule. So, sa product rule, we just need to copy the base and then add their exponent. So, 3 raised to 3 over 4 plus 1 over 4. So, once again, parehas lang yung base nila. So, pwede na natin, I mean yung denominator nila. So, pwede na lang natin i-add yung numerator nila. So, 3 raised to, yan, 3 plus 1 is 4. That will be equal to 4 over 4. So, 4 over 4 will just be equal to 1. Therefore, equal to 1 lang yan. 4 divided by 4. So, our answer will just be 3 raised to 1. In other words, pwede natin tanggalin yung exponent na 1. And so, our answer will just be 3. Okay, tama. So, number 7 naman tayo. On number 7, we have the given a raised to 2/3 quantity raised to -3. So, kung titignan nyo, naka-raise siya ng dalawang beses. So, huwag nyo munang pansinin yung negative sign dun sa exponent nung ating -3. Alamin muna natin na pwede tayong unang-unang gumamit ng power rule. So, gamitin muna natin yon for now. So, let's have that power rule by multiplying the exponent 2/3 and -3. So, we have a raised to 2 over 3 times -3. Yan, in this case, para hindi ka ulit malito, lagyan mo ng over 1. So, ang gagawin natin dito, multiply natin yung numerator kay -3 and then denominator kay +1. So, in this case, our expression will now be a raised to 2 times -3 is -6 all over 3 times 1 is 3. So, if you try to simplify this one, this will just be -6 divided by 3. Yan. Or pwede rin natin sila i-divide both by 3, and this will be a raised to -2 over 1. Or simply a raised to -2. In this case, kung makikita nyo, negative yung ating exponent which is negative 2. So, gagamit pa tayo ng isang rule dito at ito yung rule of negative exponent, wherein if you have a negative exponent, all you have to do, katulad nito, a raised to negative n, lalagay lang natin siya sa denominator. So in that case, pag ginamit natin yan, our answer will be 1 over a raised to 2. And this will be our final answer, 1 over a raised to 2. Yan, so correct. Let's go to number 8. So we have x raised to 1 half all over all over y raised to negative 1/4. So kung titignan natin dito, baka isipin nyo quotient rule yan kasi naka-divide sila. But as you can see, they have different bases. Yung nasa numerator ay x, nasa denominator ay y. So hindi tayo pwede gumamit ng quotient rule. Pero ang isang mapapansin lang natin dito is negative si 1/4 or negative yung exponent na nakalagay sa denominator. So, ang pwede lang natin gamitin para ma-simplify ito is just the rule of negative exponent. So, andito siya sa baba, negative n, parang ito 1 over negative n, ilalagay natin siya sa taas. So, in that case, ang gagawin lang natin dyan is just to make negative 1/4 be positive, we just need to copy x raised to 1 half and put y raised to negative 1/4 at the top, making it positive 1/4. And that will be our final answer. Ilagay lang natin sa numerator. Yes, meron niyang over 1, pero dahil over 1 lang naman, kahit hindi na natin isulat. Okay, tama tayo. Okay, let's go to number 9. So, number 9, we have the given b raised to negative 3 over 4, quantity raised to 2 over 3. So, kung titingnan nyo, baka hindi nyo lang napansin, magkamali kayo agad. Mas mahaba-haba ng konti yung over niya. So, nilagyan ko na lang ng emphasis. It's supposed to be negative 3 over 4. So, kung hindi nyo naman nakita yon, okay lang. But, this is negative 3 over 4. Quantity raised to 2 over 3. So, in this case, gagamit tayo ng power of a power rule. So, what do we need to do? You just need to multiply their exponents. So, we have b raised to negative 3 over 4. By the way, pwede mong ilagay kung nasa gitna or naka-align kay vinculum o yung over sign, si negative, pwede mo siyang ilagay sa numerator. So, we can have it as negative 3 over 4 multiplied to 2 over 3. So, in this case, ano ulit yung gagawin natin? You just need to multiply numerator times numerator and then denominator times denominator. So, having that said, the exponent of b will be negative 3 times 2, that will be negative 6 all over 4 times 3, that will be equal to 12. So in this case, pwede ulit natin simplify si negative 6 over 12 by dividing them by its GCF to get the lowest term. So we divide both of them by, I think the GCF is not 2, the GCF is 6. So divide both of them by 6. In this case, the exponent of b will now be b raised to negative 1. That will be negative 6 divided by 6, and then 12 divided by 6 is 2, or in other words, b raised to negative 1 half. In this case, kung makikita nyo, negative yung exponent natin. So once again, gagamit tayo ng rule of a negative exponent. So ang gagawin lang natin dyan is we'll just write this on the denominator side. So we'll be having 1 over b raised to 1 half. So ayan na yung magiging sagot natin. Okay, so tama tayo. Okay, let's have the last item for this part A. So we have here number 10. The given is x raised to 2 over 3 times y raised to negative 1/4 quantity raised to 1 half. So in this case, baka hindi nyo napansin nung nagsasagot kayo. This is actually negative 1 over 4. Yan, hindi lang halata kasi nadugtong dun sa over yung negative. But in this case, in-emphasize ko na siya, negative 1 over 4. So in this case, kung makikita nyo, we'll be using power of a product rule because they are both, or the two given expression are both raised to 1 half. So, didistribute lang natin dito si 1 half kay 2/3 tsaka kay negative 1/4. So, ang gagawin natin dyan will be x raised to 2/3 times 1 half then y raised to negative 1/4. So, pwede natin ilagay sa taas yung negative 1 or yung negative sign. So, negative 1/4 times 1/2. So, ayan, na-distribute natin yung 1/2 for both of the exponent inside. So, right now, we just need to multiply numerator times numerator. Yan. Denominator times denominator. Yan. So, in this case, we'll just need to simplify. So, 2 times 1 is 2. Then, 3 times 2 is 6. Then, y raised to negative 1 times 1 is negative. Wait lang, urong natin dito. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. And then, 4 times 2 is 8. So, negative 1 over 8. So, kung titingnan nyo, pwede pa natin itong i-simplify. Kasi negative yan. Nalagay natin, gagamit tayo ng negative exponent later. But, siguro isabay na rin natin yung pagkuha ng lowest term kay 2 over 6. We can divide both of this by positive 2. And then, by that, our answer will be x raised to 2 divided by 2 is 1, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So, x raised to 1/3 and y raised to negative 1 over 8. So, sunod na natin yung negative exponent. Ilalagay natin siya sa denominator. So, our final answer will be x raised to 1/3 all over y raised to 1 over 8. So, nilagay na natin siya sa baba. And the exponent becomes positive. Okay, so tama tayo. Right now, we are ready to proceed on part B of the exercises that we had yesterday. So, this is 1 to 9. So, medyo komplikado yung iba. Pero, let's try to answer each of them. So, let's start with number 1. We have the given x raised to 1/2 over x raised to negative 2/3. So, in this case, kung makita nyo, parehas tayo ng base. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng quotient rule. So, sa quotient rule, you just need to subtract their exponent. So, copy the base and then subtract the exponent 1/2 minus, don't forget, it's negative 2/3. So, negative 2/3, negative 2 over 3. In this case, kung makikita nyo, negative times negative, magiging positive yan. So, magiging x raised to 1/2 plus 2/3. Diba? So, kung makikita nyo din, magkaiba sila ng denominator. Ito ay 2 at ito ay 3. So, hindi lang natin just pwedeng i-add yung numerator and gano'n lang kadali yun. So, iba yung gagawin natin dito. Doon sa unang video na pinanood nyo kahapon, gumagamit siya ng technique na katulad nito. So, gagawin natin yon. So, 3 times 1 is 3. Yan. 3 times 1 is 3. So, lagay muna natin siya dyan. And then, 2 times 2 is 4. So, minultiply niya yung nasa baba tsaka yung nasa taas ng pangalawa. Then, 2 times 3 is 6. So, that will just be, if we try to write it on the correct way, so that will be x raised to 3 plus 4 over 6. So, simplifying it, you can just add 3 and 4. That will be equal to 7. So, our final answer is x raised to 7 over 6. So, yan yung ginawa nating shortcut just to add dissimilar fraction like this given. So, our answer, tama. X raised to 7 over 6. Let's proceed to number 2. So, number 2, we have the given x raised to 1/2, then x raised to 1/3, quantity raised to 6. So, pwede nyo siyang umpisahan ng power of a product rule. Pero in my solution, I will start by having product rule lang. Kasi nakita ko na pareha sila ng base and they are being multiplied to each other. So, I will try to add first the exponent. So, sulat ko muna natin siya. So, x raised to 1/2 plus 1/3. Don't forget na naka-raise sila kay, naka-raise sila kay 6. So, mamaya natin siya i-raise kay 6. Then, after that, just need to simplify. 1/2 plus 1/3, they are dissimilar. So, gagamit na naman tayo ng technique kanina. 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Then, 2 times 3 is 6. So simplifying it, we have x raised to 3 plus 2 over 6. Then quantity raised to 6. Don't forget that it is raised to 6. So simplifying it, we have x raised to 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So we have 5 over 6. Quantity raised to 6. Yan. Dito, kung makikita nyo, we have the given x raised to 5 over 6, quantity raised to 6. Dito tayo gagamit ng, instead of a power of a product rule, dahil isa na lang yan, it will just be power of a power rule. So, we just need to multiply that 5 over 6 to 6. So, in this case, we have x raised to 5 over 6 times 6. So, lagyan mo ng over 1 para hindi ka malito. So, that will be equal to x raised to 5 times 6 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6. Simplifying 30 divided by 6, that will be equal to 5. So our final answer is x raised to 5. 5 over 1 yan pag sinimplify nyo. Or you can just write it as 5. Okay, tama tayo sa number 2. Okay, let's go to letter B, number 3. So you have this complicated expression, 2a raised to 1 half times b raised to 1/3 quantity raised to 3 all over a raised to 2/3 times b raised to negative 1/4 quantity raised to 0. So in this case, gagamit tayo ng 0 exponent sa una and we'll just somehow cancel this one and make this one just equal to 1. And kahit hindi na natin siya pansinin kasi equal over 1 lang naman yung maging expression natin. So we'll be focusing on this numerator side. So in this case, gagamit naman tayo dyan ng ating product rule. So we'll try to distribute this 3. But before that, lagay ko muna yung 1 sa exponent ni 2. Yan. Ayan yung mga exponent nila. So dyan natin i-distribute si 3 kay 1, kay 1 half, tsaka kay 1/3. So in our solution, we'll be having 2 raised to 1 times 3 and then a raised to 1 half times 3. Yan. And then b raised to 1/3 times 3. Yan. So, para hindi ka malito, dito sa may mga fraction, lagyan natin ng over 1 si 3. Yan. So, the rule will still be the same. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, ito ay magiging 2 raised to 3 na lang. That's 1 times 3 is 3. And then for a, we have 1 times 3 is 3. Then 2 times 1 is 2. So, the exponent of a will be 3 over 2. Yan, 3 over 2. And then for b, the exponent will be 1 times 3 is 3. And then 3 times 1 is 3 as well. So, we have 3 over 3. So, dito, pwede naman na tayo mag-simplify. So, 3 over 3 will just be equal to 1. And then, I think 2 raised to 3 will just be 2 times 2 times 2. Yan, simplify natin siya dito sa final answer natin. 2 raised to 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. And then, ito, nakasimplify naman ng exponent ni a raised to 3 over 2 lang yan. And then, for b, instead of having 3 over 3, we just make it 1. At dahil 1 na lang yan, kahit hindi mo na siya isulat. So, b raised to 1 or b na lang siya. So, that will be our final answer, 8a raised to 3 over 2 times b. Okay, so tama tayo. Next, let's proceed to number 4. So number 4, we have the given m raised to 2/3 times n all over m squared times n raised to 1 half. So in this case, kung makita nyo, meron tayong dalawang set na parehas ang base kay m tsaka kay n. So gagamit tayo dito ng dalawang beses na quotient rule. Isa kay m at isa kay n. So gawin na natin siya muna kay m. We just need to copy the base, which is m, and then we subtract 2 over 3 minus 2. Yan. So, next, we have n. Yan. Kapag walang exponent, lagyan mo ng 1 para hindi ka malito. So, we have n raised to 1 minus 1 half. Yan. So, to simplify this one, para hindi ka malito dun sa denominator, lagyan natin both pares ng 1. So, in this case, just we'll be having different bases. Ito 3, ito 1. I mean, different denominators. 3 and 1, ito 1 and 2. So, gamit tayo nung technique. So, 1 times 2 is 2. Then, 3 times 2 is 6. And then, multiply natin itong dalawa. 3 times 1 is 3. So, ang mangyayari ngayon kay m will be m raised to 2 plus 6 over 3. Yan yung mangyayari kay m. And then, we have, oh, it's not plus 6, it's minus kasi minus yung operation natin dito. Yan. So, kay n naman, gamitin natin ulit yung technique kanina. So, we have 2 times 1, that will be equal to 2. And then, 1 times 1 is 1. And then, multiply natin itong sa baba. 1 times 2 is 2. So, for the exponent of n, that will be n raised to 2 minus 1 all over 2. So, simplifying this, just be having 2 minus 6, that will be equal to negative 4. So the exponent of m will be negative 4 over 3. And then 2 minus 1 is just 1. So the exponent of n will be 1 over 2. So kung makita nyo, negative yung exponent dyan ni m, which is negative 4 over 3. So gagamit tayo dyan ng rule of negative exponent at ilalagay natin siya sa may denominator side. So, our final answer would be, lagay na natin, remain natin sa taas n raised to 1 half all over m raised to positive 4 over 3. And that will be our final answer. Okay, so tama tayo. Okay, let's proceed to number 5. So we have the given x raised to 1/3 times y raised to negative 1 over 5 all over x raised to negative 1 half times y raised to negative 1/3. So in this case, alam ko, nakikita ko, madaming negative. But for this one, parehas yung mga bases nila, x, x, then y, and y. So I will use quotient rule twice. Meron kay x and meron kay y. So, subtract natin yung exponent ni x. Copy lang muna natin yung base. 1/3 minus negative 1 over 12. Yan. So, and then for y naman, we have y raised to negative 1 over 5 minus negative 1/3. So, in this case, medyo ayusin natin yung exponent natin, o operation nila. Minus magiging plus yan. So, it will become x raised to 1/3 plus 1 over 12, then y raised to, yan, negative, negative ulit, or negative, minus negative, so it will become plus. So, nagiging plus yan. Negative times negative is positive. Next, so we will be having negative 1 over 5. Negative 1 over 5. Lagay ko na sa taas yung negative, and then plus 1 over 3. Yan. In this case, we just need to simplify. But if you take a look at both the denominator for the exponent of y and x, hindi sila similar. Hindi parehas. So, we're adding the similar fraction. So, gagamit tayo nung technique na ginagawa natin kanina. So, we multiply. 12 times 1 is 12. Then, 3 times 1 is 3. And then, we multiply 3 times 12. So, here, that will be equal to 36. Then, ganun din sa kabila. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Then, 5 times 1 is 5. And then, 3 times 5 is 15. Yan. So, simplify natin siya dito sa gilid. So, we'll be having, hindi ko na susulat 12 plus 3. That will be x raised to 15 over 36. So, lagay natin dyan 36. And then, y raised to negative 3 plus 5. That will be positive 2. Then, over 15. In this case, yan na dapat yung magiging sagot natin. But we can still simplify 15 over 36. And both of them can be divided to its GCF, which is positive 3. So we divide both of them by 3. Therefore, our final answer would be x raised to 5 over 12 times y raised to 2 over 15. Yan. So, yan yung magiging final answer natin. Okay, so tama tayo. Next item would be number 6. We have here x squared times y raised to 6 all over x raised to negative 1 times y cubed, quantity raised to 1/3. So, in this case, ang unahin ko muna i-simplify yung nandun sa loob at gagamit tayo dun ng quotient rule because both of them will just be having same bases which is x and y katulad nung kanina. So, ang gagawin natin dyan, we just need to subtract their exponents. So, x raised to 2 minus negative 1. So, ayan o, 2 minus negative 1. Next will be y raised to 6 minus 3. Yan, 6 minus 3. Okay, don't forget that all of these are raised to 1/3. So, wag mo lang tanggalin sa solution. Pwede naman i-set aside mo muna siya. So, dito, ito ay magiging plus. So, 2 plus 1 will just be, ito magiging plus yan ha. So, magiging 3. X cubed na siya. Then, y raised to 6 minus 3 is 3. So, magiging y cubed na siya. But don't forget that this one r raised to 1/3. So, from that, gagamit tayo ng power of a product rule, which will try to distribute this 1/3 to that 3 dun kay x, then yung cube naman kay y. So, in this case, we'll be having x raised to 3 times 1/3. So, ayan yung 1/3 natin. And then y raised to copy 3, then times 1/3. So, in this case, numerator, yan, lagyan mo ng over 1 kung nalilito ka pa. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, pares lang yung magiging product nila kasi pares exponent nila ay 3. So, 3 over 3, and then y raised to 3 over 3. So, in this case, 3 over 3 will just be equal to 1. So, this will just be x raised to 1, y raised to 1. Pwede mo nang tanggalin yan, 1, kasi exponent nila ay 1 lang naman. So, understood na yon if you'll be having an answer that is xy or x times y. And that will be our final answer. Okay, let's proceed to number 7. So, here we have the given 2 times x raised to negative 3 over 4 times y raised to 1 over 5 quantity raised to negative 2. By the way, once again, baka hindi lang napansin agad na medyo mahaba-haba yung over dito at na-connect yung over dun sa negative. So, dito in-emphasize ko na that this one is supposedly negative 3 over 4. Yan. So, dito gagamit tayo ng power of product rule. We have to distribute this negative 2 to the exponent of each inside. So, lagyan natin to ng 1 para alam natin na may exponent si 2 na 1. Then, we just need to distribute that negative 2 on all of the given exponent inside. So, in our solution, we'll be having 2 raised to 1 times negative 2. Then, times x raised to negative 3 over 4 times negative 2 multiplied to y raised to 1 over 5 times negative 2. So, ayan, dinistribute natin si negative 2. So, dito, para hindi muna tayo malito, lagyan natin ng, dun sa may mga fraction, lagyan natin ng over 1. Para we still follow numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. In this case, 1 times negative 2 is just negative 2. So, the exponent of our 2 is just negative 2. Then, x raised to negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6 over 4 times 1 is 4. Yan. Kung napapansin nyo, nilalagay ko yung negative palagi sa numerator para hindi tayo malito sa pagsasagot. So, y raised to 1 times negative 2 is negative 2 over 5 times 1 is 5. So, in this case, kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong dalawang set dito na may negative yung exponent. So, ang gagawin natin dyan, gagamit tayo ng rule of negative exponent. So, to do that, we just need to bring them down on the denominator to make their exponent positive. Yan. So, we have x raised to 6 over 4 all over. Baba natin to si 2 raised to negative 2. Gawin natin siyang 2 raised to 2. And then, at the same time, ganun din yung gagawin natin kay y raised to negative 2 over 5. We'll make it positive pero nasa denominator na siya. Ngayon, simplify na lang naman natin. So, ano-ano yung mga isi-simplify natin? First, we can set 2 raised to 2 be equal to 4 because this one is just uh, 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. At the same time, for the exponent of x, pwede natin silang i-simplify by dividing both the numerator and the denominator by 2. Yan. So, by that, our final answer is x raised to 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Yan. So, the answer for the exponent of x will be 3 over 2 or 3 halves. And this 2 squared will be equal to 4 and then multiplied to y raised to 2 over 5. So, our answer will be x raised to 3 halves over 4 times y raised to 2 over 5. Okay, so tama tayo. Okay, next, let's go to number 8. So we have here the given x raised to negative 1 half times y raised to 1/3 times z raised to 4 over 5. Quantity raised to 3. So dito, makita natin ang gagamitin natin ay power of a product rule. We'll have to distribute these 3 for each of the exponent inside. Yan. So, on our solution, we'll be having x raised to, yan, lagay ko na ulit yung negative dun sa numerator. Same lang din yan. Negative 1 half times 3, then multiplied to y raised to 1/3 times 3, and then z raised to 4 over 5 times 3. So, once again, dinistribute lang natin si 3. And then, para hindi ka ulit maglito sa pag-multiply, lagyan mo ng over 1. Para taas times taas, baba times baba. So, as we continue, multiply negative 1 times 3, that will be negative 3. Then, 2 times 1 is just 2. So, that's negative 3 over 2 multiplied to y. 1 times 3 is 3. And then, 3 times 1 is 3. Next, for the exponent of say, 4 times 3 is 12. So we have 12 over 5 times 1 is 5. So in this case, ano mga pwede natin gawin? First, we can have the exponent of 3 over 3 will just be equal to 1. At the same time, gagamit tayo ng negative exponent kasi negative yung exponent ni x, which is negative 3 over 2. So to simplify, first, ang gagawin natin, ilalagay natin sa baba si x raised to 3 over 2 para maging positive siya. Second, we just need to copy y raised to 1 or in other words, y na lang siya kasi pwede natin tanggalin yung exponent na 1. Next, we'll just need to copy z raised to 12 over 5. And that will just be our final answer. Okay, so tama tayo. Okay, for the last item on this part B, we have number 9. We have the given quantity 9 times x raised to 5 times y raised to negative 2 all over 4x raised to negative 1 times y raised to negative 6 quantity raised to 1 half. So in this case, ang uunahin kong i-simplify is yung nandun sa loob ng ating parenthesis. So same basis, yung x tsaka yung y, ang gagamitin natin dyan ay quotient rule. Then, for 9 over 4, hindi naman natin siya magkukuhaan ng lowest term. So, we'll just copy them. So, first, we have 9 over 4. So, dito ko lagay yung 4. Kasi ang matitira na lang naman dyan sa ilalim ay 4. Because, gagawin natin dito, sa x raised to 5 and x raised to negative 1, we'll just need to subtract their exponent. So, x raised to 5 minus negative 1. Yan yung mangyayari dyan. And then, dugtong natin, kailangan pala mahaba. We have y raised to negative 2 minus negative 6. So, negative 2 minus negative 6. Yan. And don't forget, all of them are still raised to 1 half. So, in this case, we'll be having 9 x raised to, yan, minus negative, magiging plus. So, ang exponent ni x ay 6. And then, for y, ito ay magiging plus. Minus negative, magiging plus yan. So, negative 2 plus 6 will be positive 4 all over 4. But don't forget, we will raise all of them by 1/2. So in this case, parang makita nyo, merong value sa numerator and then may value sa denominator. So, lagyan natin ng exponent si 9 tsaka si 4 na 1. And from there, kung mapapansin nyo, pwede natin gawin ng sabay si power of a product rule and power of a quotient rule. Bakit? Kasi, we'll try to distribute 1/2 to the exponent of 9, exponent of x, and exponent of y. At the same time, i-multiply din natin siya or distribute natin siya doon sa exponent ni 4. So, in this case, ito yung magiging solution natin. 9 raised to 1 times 1/2 times x raised to 6 times 1/2 y raised to 4 times 1/2 all over 4 raised to 1/2. Oh, raised to 1 times 1/2. Yan. Kung napansin nyo, na-distribute natin si 1/2. But, just to simplify this one, dito ko na lang lagay sa taas yung magiging simplified. 9 raised to 1 times 1/2 will be 9 raised to 1/2. And then, ito, lagyan natin ng over 1. So, we have 6 times 1. Then, 1 times 2 on the denominator. We have x raised to 6 over 2. And then, y raised to 4 times 1 is 4 over 2. That will be equal to 4 over 2. All over 1 times 1/2 will just be 1/2. So, 4 raised to 1/2. So, magiging solution pa natin dyan, we can still simplify 6 over 2 and then 4 over 2. We can divide both of them by 2, numerator and denominator. Simplify natin yan. So, our final answer will now be 9 raised to 1/2. Then, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Then, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 3 over 1 will just be equal to 3. And then, 4 over 2 divided by 2 for the numerator and denominator. That will become 2 over 1, which will be equal to 2 na lang. And then, yan, 4 raised to 1/2.